Hi, Scott Keffer here, founder of the Donor Motivation Program, where we help North American charities solve one of their biggest problems, and that is how do they double the effectiveness, the results of their plan giving efforts with minimal time and money so that they can grow their plan giving donor base and secure their future. So welcome to the weekly plan giving tip, where we share just things that we've learned from the years in which we've been working with charities and their donors. Well, this week I want to talk about whether you speak donor or not. What do I mean by that? Well, a number of years ago, in the mid-90s, I was over in Russia and we used a number of translators over there. And I found there are three kinds of translators. One, there were translators that spoke broken English, essentially. You know, they kind of knew the language. Then there were just a couple that spoke really good English. It was hard. They didn't even have an accent at all. But there was one thing that let me know that they weren't from America, and that was they didn't have the colloquialisms. And there was one guy, he was really amazing. And I said to him, have you been to America? Because I can't tell the difference, because you speak as if you're from where I'm from. And so when I asked, do you speak donor, it's really understanding that there are different dialects. So one of the translators became really good friends of ours, and he came over to visit my wife and I, Beth and I, and we were at dinner, and he had been speaking English for, this would have been 17, 18 years. His wife had a master's in linguistics. But as we sat at the table, even though their English was superb, what I realized when I asked them about a concept was they knew the words, but they didn't know the concept. And so it reminded me, you know, even as I sat there with my wife Beth, that she and I, even though we've grown up in the States, we speak different dialects, right? Men and women speak different dialects. If you are audio, if you're visual, if you're kinesthetic, you speak different dialects. So understanding and speaking donor really begins with understanding that everyone has their own dialect. If you're talking to male donors, female donors, younger donors, older donors. So it's really about adjusting your language. In fact, we have a whole lunch and learn session on how to create high trust relationships with donors, where we talk about the learning how to speak donor and how to understand the different dialects. So the next time you get into a conversation, you're meeting with a donor, particularly if you're meeting with husband and wife, you just need to understand you need to speak two different languages. And the one tip that I have for you is to listen to the verbs that they use, because the verbs are going to tell you whether they see what you're talking about, whether they hear the difference, right, or whether they feel that what you're doing is making a difference. And just that gives you clues about, are they audio, are they visual, are they kinesthetic, so that you make sure that you're speaking their language. Because the more you speak their language, the more that they feel like you're from where they're from. And that helps as you're connecting with donors. Well, thanks so much for being on today, and hopefully this tip will help you as you interact with your donors and help you to be more connected and give them the feeling that you know them, you know where they're from, and you're able to communicate to where they are. Well, until next time, I'm Scott Keffer. Have a great day and make a big impact.